So let me get this right. If a young Samoan or a young Tongan, male or female, don't understand and can't really speak the language, we ridicule them. Okay, now you wonder why the younger generation don't want to try to speak the language, because when they do try, you make fun of them. We don't make fun of the Fives when they can't speak English. So why would we do that to the younger generation trying to speak Samoan, that are trying to speak Tongan? Come on, man. We the only ones that do that to ourselves. Apologies. That's it. If you look at every other ethnicity, they encourage their young ones to speak the language. Especially with the Hispanics. They teaching all their kids how to speak Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Why we ain't doing the same? But we gonna make these little funny ass videos to ridicule them that are trying. And stop teasing The Rock, because if it wasn't for The Rock, we wouldn't be internationally known.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to 30 to Life. It's your boy, Uso Ron. And today we're going to switch up the content on y'all a little bit. I know y'all been enjoying those interviews, and I'm going to keep bringing them to you. As a matter of fact, we got some dope-ass interviews lined up for y'all, man. So y'all be expecting that in the next few days or so. All right. But today I wanted to switch it up a little bit, tell you a small story about myself. This story right here is basically about how I got the name Palagi Ron. I know a lot of y'all didn't know that I was called that for a little bit. But I know that some of y'all, especially all y'all polys that are watching, y'all can understand why now. But yeah, so for a moment I was called Palagi Ron. But I want to back up a little bit and tell y'all a little bit about my story on why I think I was called Palagi Ron. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, a lot of y'all know that when I was growing up, I didn't grow up around a lot of Samoans. I grew up in the 707 area, you know what I'm saying, Vacaville, California to be exact. And, you know, there wasn't really a lot of Samoans out there. There actually wasn't any, you know what I'm saying, while I was growing up until a little bit later. But, you know, so I got in where I fit in. I hung around everybody, you know, blacks, whites, Mexicans, you know, and just got involved in shit with other people's while I was growing up. But in my household, I grew up, you know what I'm saying, like Americanized. English was spoken in my home. The only time I heard the Samoan language is when my mom would be calling back home or talking to her sisters or something on the phone. Then I would hear her, you know, speaking the language. Or, you know what I'm saying, if I was getting in trouble and she was mad or whatnot, then I was learning about, you know, all the cuss words in the Samoan language. But other than that, you know what I'm saying, I really just, you know, I think my mom, you know, came out here just like everybody else, you know, that came from the islands, who maybe wanted a better life and just wanted to offer their kids a better life. So I grew up American style, you know what I'm saying? That's just how it was for me. I know a lot of my Usos out there, they grow up in certain areas, you know, like, you know, where it's predominantly Mexican or predominantly black or whatever it may be, you know what I'm saying? I happen to grow up in a melting pot of all different kinds of races, man. And, you know, that was pretty much my upbringing. So to get to where, you know, I got the name Palagi Ron is when I went to San Quentin. A lot of y'all know my story. But if you didn't get to check out the first time I went to prison, the first time I hit San Quentin, you know, what my experience was like, I'll leave it up here so y'all can go check that out. Maybe come back here and check this out afterwards. But, you know, I didn't get to tell y'all that, you know, I earned the name Palagi Ron when I came in there. It was easy just by how I talk, you know what I'm saying, just by the way I act. So I hit San Quentin. And they sent me to Badger section because I got a 30 to life sentence. So it was just all pretty much, I don't know, coincidence, God, everything. But it you know, just having that sentence basically put me in the right place, so to speak. I basically went to Badger section, and Badger section, it was just Uso section. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? So when I hit Badger section, I remember just standing there with my blankets and, you know, the bedding and all that. And I'm waiting to get sent to my cell. And I'm standing in a line with other people who are getting ready to go to their cells and shit. And this Uso walks up and he has a clipboard. he's looking at me and he's looking at everybody, and then he stops on me and he says, hey man, you Samoan? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, he made this face. He looked at his clipboard. He looked back at me. He said, you Afrikasi? I said, nah, I'm full Samoan. And he was just like, okay, that's right. What's up, Oos? And he basically let me know, hey, this is what's going to happen. You're going to go to this cell, and then you're going to move upstairs to the 5th tier, because that's where all the lifers are at. So when you get up there, you're going to be with the Usos up there. There's a lot of Usos up there on the 5th tier. And it's crazy because they all had life. So, whenever you hit prison or hit a certain section, and especially with our peoples, like, everybody's pretty much happy to see you, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's under those circumstances, it's like, oh, we got another brother, you know what I'm saying? So that's the way the Usos look at it. The Asian homies, all that, we always happy to see another homie, you know what I'm saying? So what happens is, as they start telling, everybody else on the line, who showed up. And so I didn't know at this time, but those was going around telling everybody, yeah, man, Palagi Ron showed up. And I didn't know that shit at the time that he was saying all that, but it was all love, man, because the Usos, man, hey, when I hit that tier, man, they showed me nothing but love, you know what I'm saying? And nobody really called me Palagi Ron to my face except for those, you know what I'm saying? But I really didn't care, because I really accepted that name. I know that I don't pronounce, our language really good, and I know that, I don't know shit about the culture and all that. So I was good with Palagi Ron, you know what I'm saying? But, as time goes by, I ended up as Uso Ron. So, but yeah, that's pretty much how I got my name, Palagi Ron, man. But I wanted to tell you all this, though. Not knowing the language, especially in prison, it was difficult for me because, as I told you guys in past stories, I was going to the hole, and my first experience with the hole in San Quentin is I went to the hole, and the first thing I noticed is when people are talking to each other on the wire, right? I noticed that I don't hear no English being spoken. So I noticed that, people are speaking different languages, like the whites, they're speaking an old Viking language in there. And then, you got the blacks, they're speaking Swahili, you know what I'm saying? And, and then you got the northerners, they're speaking sign language and kites, you know what I'm saying? So it was a different type of vibe in the whole. And I quickly, found out that not speaking my language was pretty much a bad thing back there, because not being able to communicate, it can cost you sometimes. So with my whole experience back there, I'm back in the hole, and this Uso, they got a couple Usos in the hole, and one of those Usos, he gets at me on the wire, right? That's the Uso Steve, Big Steve, and I'm kind of intimidated because, what I'm saying, I know about the Uso Steve, you know what I'm saying? He had been down a long time, and he's getting at me, and he's talking to me in Samoan on the wire. And I know enough of the language to, let him know that my Samoan ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? That I can't speak that good, and that it's not as good as, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to communicate with him. So he immediately stops talking to me, and he shoots a line over, and I get a kite from him. And on the kite, he says, "Damn, Moose, you need to hurry up and learn the language. You can't be back here not speaking the language." You know what I'm saying? And then, I don't know, man. I think he knew that I was going to be back there in the hole struggling, because one night I was just chilling in my cell, and this CO walked by. He pops my tray slot on my cell, and he gives me this lunch bag. It's got some food in it and shit, some soups, things like that. Got some tobacco and a lighter and got a kite from the homie, you know what I'm saying? And basically he just tells me, you know, hey man, I'm going to try to get you out of there as fast as you can, as I can. But until then, man, here's some tobacco, you know what I'm saying? Here's a lighter, you know, make sure you take care of the old man and the other Usos that are back there, right? And I was just, you know, at that time when it happened, right, I just thought he was just looking out for me, you know, as far as like hooking me up with some tobacco and some soups and shit, you know what I'm saying? I just felt like he felt bad for me. But when I look back on it, you know what I'm saying, I think the Uso really wanted the Usos in the back in the hole, you know, to accept me. So I ended up shooting some tobacco to the old man, the other Usos and shit like that back there. And yeah, so it was cool. I mean, after that, it was cool, of course. You know what I'm saying? I'm the guy that, you know, I'm the Uso that you got to go through to get things back there. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I really appreciate the Uso. So that's how I earned my name, Palagi Ron. You know what it is. Stay the fuck out of trouble.